He said, I'm just really in it for the healing, which really touched my heart because I think what we're all in what we do is for people and to help people. I don't know if you've ever done it with him, Debbie, but I would recommend him to anybody. When we say healing, and I'm definitely from the Bible Belt, y'all know I'm Southern, and like,
Yes.
you don't believe in anything other than you pray to God for your healing. But since I've gone through this school and since I've met y'all, I realize that it is up to us to do our healing work. It is up to us. Yes, we have the guardian angels and the help of God and all of that, but it's up to us to realize that there's something that needs to be done and we have to let go of trauma or we have to let go of negative energy or whatever it is. But being raised in the Bible Belt, that was like so sacrilegious the way I was raised. And so it's been just a very freeing spiritual experience for me to talk with someone like that. He gave all the glory to God, he gave all the reverence to God. But just the way he did it, like calling on the angels and stuff like that, which 2 years ago would have been very hokey pokey to me, sacrilegious almost, because I didn't feel like we had that power within us to call on. But I've done a lot of research on that, a lot of reading about it, and my beliefs today are that they're there for us. We just have to reach out, and we have several around us at all times, which is cool and intimidating. I don't like getting naked, getting in the shower in front of angels, but it's really, really cool to when you do the research and find out what's going on. Today, if you've never done anything like that, it's such
I've
a
never done
cool
anything like that.
experience. Like, you don't even have to say anything. Like, you don't have to tell them anything that's going on with you. In fact, Bill told me the less I know, the better, because I want you to know this is the real deal. So, when I was talking to him, he was like doing his thing, saying his thing, just does this whole thing. But after that, I don't remember if it was that night or that morning, but I felt one of those knots in my legs because I was just laying there meditating and thinking about what he said. And I literally felt the knot roll down my leg and like out my foot. And I just thought that was just like a huge ball of negative energy that I've probably been hanging on to forever. And I literally felt it. It was as though someone had a tennis ball and was rolling it on the outside of my leg. And
Did you tell
and I
him
was
that?
no, I've not talked to him since, but I was like,
Wow.
the pain that was so severe behind the bend of my knee has been gone for 2 days. I don't know if it'll come
Wow.
back. Like, I'm so scared. I'm just so scared to claim it, but I have to get over that fear because fear is part of what you're hanging on to
That's
and
right.
with the negativity. But I will say I'm probably one of the most non-believing people. And I told him that. He asked a few questions in the beginning, and one of them is he said, "Do you have any feelings one way or the other about this?" And my answer to that was, I do. I don't want to speak it because I do not want to speak anything into existence that because there's power in the tongue. There's life and death in our tongue and in our verbiage. And I don't want to speak it, and I still won't speak it because it wasn't positive thoughts about it. I didn't really think that anything would work. So the fact that it did and that I felt that sensation in my leg as I was sitting there meditating and going back over his verbiage and praying and just really spending time with God on it. Alfredo was like, yesterday, he said, "You seem so much better." And I said, "I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to, I just want to get well." But I do think that after a couple of times, and it's just a process of learning how not to have those. You have to just reject any negativity that comes into your mind about anything with your health or whatever, and let go of fears. I've been in a different headspace. I don't know how to explain that, but I've been in a totally different headspace since.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, I would not have been
Wow.
able to fly and travel and do all that we've done. I would have been in bed, like miserable, not being able to move. So, it's definitely a step in the right direction. Thank you,
That's
Debbie, so
great.
much for hooking me up with that connection, because it was true, and it's cool the way he got into it to Dow, because he didn't believe in it at all. Um, so he was a firefighter, I think, Debbie, is that correct?
Yes.
He was a firefighter, and his wife got sick, and he had
When she
heard
was
about
pregnant.
this. He had heard about this pranic healing, so he decided, what do I have to lose? I'll try. So he tried it on his wife, and she became well. So then, of course, she told her family, and then they all wanted to be healed, and then their friends, and he was healing people in all of his spare time. So now he
Wow.
has a practice. Yeah, he has a practice. That's what he does. It's very interesting. And when you do the research, our minds are so much more powerful than we give them credit. It's amazing to me, the power of the brain, and how we have the ability to heal things or to get rid of wounds, that we don't even know we're holding on to.
I'm just so grateful that this has come into our lives, because I had no idea this was coming into my life, and I had no idea that I would ever recommend this to anyone. But the fact that something like this has come in, and that even I was open enough to say yes and explore and listen and see what it was about and watch and hear stories that he's been telling of the beautiful gift of healing, and in all faith backgrounds, including Jesus, because I met this gentleman through the church that I worked at. I love that not only is Christianity a part of healing, but all things, all spirituality is a part of healing, and that Jesus even taught. He was a healer. His apostles were healers, and he said we are all the same as him. Like, we can heal one another also. So the fact that people get bothered by, or like afraid of, something like healing is interesting. I guess there are some healing modalities that don't use divine energy. So I think that one sat well with me too, is healings that come from within the person. So that's why people can actually get drained that are healers, because unless they properly care for their bodies, they're using their own energy. And I might not have this perfectly down, but pranic healing, anyone can do it, because we're just a vessel from divine energy to the
Mm-hmm.
person. And he was saying that it's an amazing gift to be able to learn this, and it's very easy to learn. We can learn to heal ourselves. He says he hasn't had a headache in 25 years since he's learned
Wow.
how to heal himself.
This man's skin, he has gray hair, but his skin looks porcelain. Like, you can tell he's in
Yeah,
fabulous health, right? Like, his
super.
skin, his
That's nice.
complexion, his voice is so strong. And Debbie, you nailed it
Is he
with,
married?
where did religion go
Yes.
wrong? For me, when I heard him say divine healing, and we use God's divine healing, that's what gave me the okay, okay, I'll do this.
Yeah.
Because we're taught, and it's hammered in our head, all the glory goes to God for everything. And you still do give God the glory for your healing. He's using what the Bible teaches, as far as healing. But from the hellfire and brimstone pulpit, they don't talk about healing. They talk about right and wrong, and you're going to hell if you don't do the right thing. which I think hell is just separation from God. I don't personally believe that there's a burning hell. I would never stick my child's hand in a fire to punish them. I don't believe that. And I don't believe that my God would do that either. So we can be in
Amen.
hell on earth. We can be in hell on earth separated from God. When
That's
you're
right.
when you're totally out of harmony with that or with prayer, you can find yourself in a very lonely spot. And I think that oftentimes that's where suicide comes in. That's where so many things come in. It's just that total separation that we could get back with just a simple, you know what, I screwed this up again. I'm sorry. And can we talk? And it helps. And I've been in such dark places. When you're in such a dark place, you feel like your sins are so deep and so dark that he doesn't want you anymore. And that's the lie. That's just the whole lie of it all. So back to the healing. I just can't tell you how much has just changed everything as far as my thought process on it. And because I had felt for so long I had lost joy within myself, and I didn't have happiness. Like nothing made me happy. I just was in a very dull spot. And my grandkids made me happy, but that was about it. Like when I would go see them, I would be this childlike person. But other than that, it was almost very solemn, just a very solemn feeling. And it wasn't me because I love to laugh and I love to have fun. And I'm finding that little girl is coming back again. I'm finding that. And this is just in a few days. I find joy in the simplest things, a baby in a baby carriage, or, a good joke on TV or whatever. I guess had this like black veil ever since my divorce that I was doomed for disparity or sadness or whatever. Like I had done something so bad in my life that I deserved this walk, and that's a lie. That's just not true. Today, you have to try this guy.
Like you made me want to try. I grew up in Japan. Like it's not very religious country. Grew up in an environment when I talk spirituality, people are like, "What are you talking about?" It's like a voodoo sort
Right.
of
Uh
yeah
huh.
thing you're believing. Like many people don't believe in it. So like our culture could be very judgmental when it comes with religion or when it comes with a spirituality. But then when I look back, whenever something happened to me, like I was always asking, my God didn't mean like a Jesus, but like maybe my ancestors, my past grandparents ask for help. I believe in God in that way. So like
Mm-hmm.
spirituality was something not I grew up with. So I'm not judgmental about it, but like I'm afraid to be judged to go in that direction.
That makes perfect sense.
Right.
One of the things when he was interviewing me that he asked me, "What's your religion?" And I said, honestly, I was born and raised Baptist in the Bible Belt. And he laughed, and I said, "But now I'm just not, I'm a very spiritual person, but I can't tell you that I serve any religion. I do go to a non denominational church, but I don't serve any religion." And he laughed and he said, "That's so funny because the man that trained him was from the Bible Belt and was born and raised uh, Baptist." And that religion, all religions have their quirks and their beliefs, but to me, it's all about the heart, and it's all about your relationship, your spiritual walk with God, and how far you let Him in or how far you don't. And I don't think that there's going to be a day that He comes down and says, "Okay, all you Baptists, stand in line. You're going with me. The rest of you, to hell with you." I don't believe that. I just don't believe that. The the spiritual side of it is so much more beautiful than the rules and regulations. We do still have morals, we do have scruples, we do have an inner what's acceptable and what isn't, but it's not from a rule book, if that makes any sense. It's from the
Yeah.
Bible. You live your Bible principles, but it's not that you have to sit and memorize every book of the Bible. It's not like the Old Testament where they had so many rules and rituals because that law was broken. I didn't go to church as a kid. It was something that I guess when I was about 11 or 12, I decided I wanted that walk. I wanted a relationship with God because I felt like something was missing in my life. So I started riding the church bus for two reasons. They gave out chocolate milk every Sunday morning. That was the
They
main
know how to
reason.
win over the kids.
Exactly. That was the main reason I started riding the bus with my best friend. But the second thing that happened was I did get a relationship, but then I fell away from that for years and years and years and years. But it's just like it's all making sense now with the healing. And I don't know, it's like I'm pissed off because I missed so much greatness in my life that I could have been doing wonderful things to help people. But then I can't be pissed off because I'm not dead yet and I still have stuff to do.
You're
So
then
All
it's
that
alive.
experience was for this day. There's no other way that you were going to arrive because this is divine.
Yes, it's divine. And I just think about all the times I would cry and say, "Oh God, why are you letting this happen to me?" And it was so that I could do this walk. It was so that I could help others in a way that they're broken, that no one else would ever understand unless they've ever walked in those shoes. Debbie, you have the same story, and Tadao, you do too. Our stories are different, but they're so unique and they only belong to us. It's like our thumbprint. And I just think that God is going to use us all in such a huge way because of the uniqueness, because of the brokenness, that we can have empathy. You know, we can help people. And I just think that's so cool. But I also am enjoying learning that I'm not in this little box and that I don't have such a closed mind that I can't open up and say, "Come on, Bill, heal me. I'm good." You know, if you want to do that, yeah, I'll do that. So it's really cool. I'm just really excited about it. I can't
I
wait to
really should
share it with
try.
him. You
Because
absolutely
you are
have to try it.
glowing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel an innocence, if it makes sense, like the innocence of a little girl that thinks it's okay to laugh and not be embarrassed, or it's okay to feel and not be judged. I don't know. I just feel different. I can't explain it. I feel lighthearted. I feel very hopeful
Happy for you.
that this will help. Yeah. It's amazing.
Are you
It's
going to
really
continue?
amazing. Absolutely. I would never
Nice.
stop. Yeah. I would never stop. I think I was just so hung up on my age, you know, like, I'm 64. You know, I had a successful career, but I really have not done what I wanted to do, like really pour into people and help people and those kinds of things. And I was like, it's too late. Like, here's all these young people coming along, having all these successful podcasts and doing all these things. And that may not be in the cards for me. But I know now, whatever my purpose is, I will live it out.
Yes.
I will live out my purpose. And that's the beautiful thing. And it may not look like I want it to look or think it'll look, but it'll be better. It'll be so much better than what I could have ever imagined or dreamt up.
Hey, it's Debbie. Join us each week on Tuesdays by clicking the subscribe button. While you're at it, give us a like. We'll see you next week. Thank you for being on this journey and keep being your most authentic self.